we wanted to create this LinkedIn presentation for all of you to have the knowledge on what is this platform and how useful it is nowadays. A LinkedIn profile. I know that in the bottom you could see like the two icons that you like, the two emojis that you could share. If you could share it in your screen so we can know how many do you have, like if you have a LinkedIn profile or not. This is a yes and this is a no.
Okay, I see a few claps.
So we have 4 responses. I know Malia has. Okay, so Malia has as well, and then Sarah, you have your LinkedIn profile as well. Jasmine, perfect. So I think the next tips that we're going to be sharing are very useful. So I think like a little bit of the background of LinkedIn. LinkedIn is it's a social media, but basically it's to get. Thank you for your responses. It's a platform to share like business, employment, and the mission of the company was to create economic opportunity for every member of the workforce. As well, like when you log into LinkedIn, you have the option to, if you're living in El Paso, you can see some of the opportunities that are available here in El Paso. As well, if you look, like for example, I'm living in China, you can look in the opportunities available in China or internships in China. So this platform was initiated on 2003, and it's like this platform started like all the others. Like the co-founder, Reid Hoffman, he was in his living room, he was working on this platform in 2002, and in 1 year later, he launched the platform. As well, like Jeff Weiner is the CEO of the company, and he had managed like other companies just like Yahoo, Google, Microsoft, PayPal, and he has the experience on how to manage this platform. That's why it's growing so much and it's being essential for the workforce. Can we go to the next slide? So one of the basic things that you need to know for LinkedIn is that you need to keep your profile updated. I think it's not worth to have a LinkedIn profile and not uploading your most current employment or unemployment. I think if you have a new achievement or a new honors or a scholarship, it's good that you share in this platform. So other recruiters or companies will be able to see how well you're performing. As well, you need to use a professional picture. It is super recommended that you use a very professional picture because they don't want to see like the typical Instagram picture or pictures that you share in other social media that the purpose is like get friends or interact with other people. Like we need to remember that this is a professional platform and it should be a professional picture. As well, we recommend you to use keywords within a specific purpose. For example, when you look on your searching or you're looking for scholarships, as an Hispanic woman, I always look for Hispanic or Latino women scholarships. Those are the scholarships that will pop up on my profile, and I'll be able to, with the algorithm, I'll be able to get those notifications as soon as other platforms are sharing those scholarships. Can we go to the next one? Another super important thing that right now there some of the professors or even in the career center, they recommend you to do this, is that you personalize your LinkedIn URL. And this is super simple because at the beginning when you open your LinkedIn, it comes with a super big automatic line that the LinkedIn assigns. So these are the steps. I don't know if you guys want to be like doing it as soon as we're sending it. Like the first step that you need to do is that you will go to like view your profile, and it's gonna be in this first picture that I put. You're gonna go like view profile, and then you're gonna open, so it will show your profile, and you will go to, let me see, edit public profile and URL, and in there, like the next picture, it says like how you want to personalize your URL. and recruiters recommend to put your name on that. So if you put like, I put my full name, so there wouldn't be any misunderstanding. As well, we're gonna share this presentation with you. So if you're not doing the changes right now, it's fine because you will have the opportunity to do it later. It is very important as well to add sections on your profile. Like I always share like my scholarships, the groups that I'm working, student organizations, if I'm doing an internship or fellowship. It's very good for other recruiters to see how involved I am with my community and in school as well. And as you could see, I put like the options that they gave you, like on LinkedIn. It's like work and experience, your education, any certifications. Certifications are super well, like super good to share. I know that several banks require certain certifications, so if you share this, it's an automatic yes for some of the recruiters. And as well, like they like to see that you're involved with your community. So if you share your volunteer experiences, it's super worth it. As well, it is good that you share your certain skills. I know that, for example, to get a research work or your research job, it is good that you share that you have performed other research or you know how to do the research. So when you go into the skills, it's good to put like research, or I know how to use certain platforms, or coding. Can we go to the next slide?
Okay, so my next slide, it's tips and hacks. And before I start with it, I wanted to say that LinkedIn is one of the best tools you can use to network and to find jobs. And also, we like to share all these tips and hacks, like Marcia already mentioned it. Also, I wanted to know if you can put me on the chat box that we have here. What are your experiences with LinkedIn? If you already network with it, if you don't have any, if you use it, for example, in my resume, I put the link of my LinkedIn. If you have used it, it's too confusing or you feel comfortable with it, I would like to know. Okay, so for part one of the tips and hacks that I will give, it's use the banner. For my example, I put my name and kind of like my title, which is um, my degree. If I have a job, you can put your job there, or it depends. Also, you can put a picture. Use it as a business card. Take the pictures, use Canva, use the banner. It will look much neat in your profile. Okay, then I recommend you to use Google Keywords Planner. What it is what Google's use. So if you type, I don't know, restaurants, whatever restaurant, use the specific keywords, they will pop up at the front of the options. So something like that with LinkedIn. So instead of just putting business in mind, I put entrepreneur, because when someone type business, the keyword that they use is entrepreneur. So my profile will pop up easily. The other one is call of action. So whenever you're filling your profile, on the description, you will put, of course, what do you study, what you can give and offer to them. And at the end, you can put, if you're interested, or let's have a coffee, email me. Put a call of actions. So if someone is looking and is interested, they will say, oh, you know what, let me email her or him. Okay. And another tip will be use the LinkedIn algorithm in your favor. Okay. Slide, you can talk a little bit more. Oh, thank you. Okay, so for using the algorithm, so use content. So this is a social media, but don't use it as a personal social media. It's a professional social media. So meaning that if you put any video, blogs, posts, even I'm working on a podcast soon. I put some articles of how to use, how to use Zoom and web securities, because now we're using computers, to do work at home. So do that types of articles. It will look so professional. Post. I encourage you. I do that a lot. So every time I do a workshop, every time I in a workshop, and I take a picture of the screen, I don't know, I check the LinkedIn's of whatever who the speakers were, and then I tag them. I create, I like and share with others to create conversation. What is that too? It's because whenever I do the conversation, other prospect, other people will look into it and probably add you, do network with you. So you show interested in LinkedIn and they will contact you, which is good because that's the way you do networking. Um, Also use the direct message tool. What it is, you can put attachments, you can use the photo, video, GIFs, location. They have a lot of things in the message. Use them. Use it into your advantage. If you have a business or if you, I don't know, you're in marketing, do that to send some of your work.
Okay, so there are a few steps that you need to do in order to make sure that your profile is complete. One of them is completing the profile bar and making sure that it's at the all-star level. So if you can see on the left-hand side, this is how it looks when you first start or when you haven't really been doing a lot of things in your LinkedIn. It is important to make sure that you complete all of the steps because it'll increase your chances to appear in a recruiter's search. If you go to your profile and then you scroll down, you should see it underneath your picture, if you guys were wondering where it was. Second is your summary. Make sure that it summarizes your personality and values. Avoid saying things like looking for or seeking for. We want to make sure here that we are highlighting our values, not our interests. On the right-hand side, there's an example of somebody's summary. And if you scroll through LinkedIn and look up for professionals, they have a lot of great bios that you can use for examples. Third, throughout your profile and your post, you will be displaying your skills, interests, and projects that you're currently working on. You want to make sure that when you apply for a job, you turn in a resume that is tailored for each job description. Sometimes when you have a catch-all resume, you might be discredited for a role that you don't know that you're being considered for. I know sometimes they're looking for an electrical engineer, but they're looking for specifically programming. So if I remove my knowledge in other things and focus more on my programming projects, I have a higher chance of being called back for that. And make sure that you do list your information for the recruiters to be able to find you. If they're interested, when they're looking through your LinkedIn, they will DM you and ask you for information. Here are other tips. Like they were saying at the beginning, make sure that you have a good photo because first impressions matter. Whether they're online or in person, your picture really matters. So it's like smiling and saying hi to them. So make sure that you have a well-lit, friendly photo of your face. Try to avoid outdated or group pictures so that they know who they're speaking to. And again, like everyone, we want to make sure that our pictures are approachable. If they're serious or intimidating, it might be harder for people to find you approachable or want to DM you. Saying this, do not limit yourself to connecting only with people that you know. Try to talk to recruiters or employees working at your dream company to ask them for advice. But make sure that when you do make this connection, that you send a personalized message. You want to make sure that it's a genuine connection and that you have something you want to learn or contribute to. It is not just a take, take, take. It's like a normal human interaction when you're speaking outside of just the computer. LinkedIn is here to build relationships. So make sure that you have mutual friends. Don't just do empty connections. If you scroll through LinkedIn and you just connect, you don't send any messages, you don't explain who you are, you don't share to people what you want to learn or what your accomplishments are, they are not going to be genuine or sincere connections. The secret to growing and networking is connecting and being able to help others. And lastly, there are lots of awesome hashtags you can follow. Make sure you do. And when you do, make sure that you connect with them. So for example, I wrote for job search hashtags, job search, hiring now, or hiring managers. These are hashtags that will make sure that you know who is hiring at the moment and you're up to date with what's going on. But it doesn't necessarily need to only be for job searching. They can benefit you in many other ways. If you want to learn something, if you're working on a project and you look for that hashtag, you might find people that are having the same interests.
Okay, so before we move on into the QR codes that are used for LinkedIn, I was linking in the chat box. Thank you so much for your answers. And some of it, I just want to say some things. For example, that you set it up, but you don't know much about it. So you can use it in two ways. You can use it really professional, connecting, networking, use it, I don't know, every day, every other day, or you can use it as like a business card. So you use this RQ code, but I will go back in that in a minute.
Yes, I think as well, like I want to add that as Brenda was saying, like connecting, it's very important. And I want to share one of my experiences. I I applied for a job with the Federal Reserve Bank here in El Paso, and I was super interested in the job, but honestly, I didn't have any insight of how was it going to be. So I went onto a LinkedIn and I was like, okay, let me look for someone that works in this field. And I found the supervisor, the one that is in charge of that department that I wanted to work. And he was super friendly. He was super friendly. He was giving me super good advices, like, okay, if you're gonna have your interview, like do this type of things. And I asked like, how's your daily? How do you manage to do all of these things? And I think as well it's very good to connect and have the interaction that you may not know the person, but you can try to have these connections through this website. So take advantage of that.
Yes, true. Another thing that I want to continue on comments, it's some of it they use it for personal connections, and it says when your careers are always on LinkedIn, and that's true. LinkedIn updated, I don't know how long ago, but now you can put in your LinkedIn that you are looking for a job, so
Yeah.
their recruiters can't connect with you. They are there. Also, another one is follow companies. Like another person I read there, they follow companies. That's true because they post the openings in LinkedIn. So use it to find a job. It's really smart. So whoever just put that one, yes. And also it says that sometimes they don't understand about the point on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is more like if you really want to look for a job, if you already have a job, well, it's amazing. You use it any other day just to put or update it saying, oh, you know, I did this and this and this. And it just looked like you are professional and also you're like into the social media, that you're like up to date. It just looked like that. You look more professional on that. And also, let me see, another one that I wanted to say, oh, about UTEP. If you don't know how to take the picture professionally, if you're a UTEP student, you can, well, after the pandemic, of course, you go to UTEP careers, they take pictures for your LinkedIn, and they borrow you some clothes if you need to, and they take the picture for you. And I think in the career fairs, they also take the pictures for you, so you take advantage of that. It's free.
Yes. And I think as well, yeah, if you want to apply for scholarships or you're looking for scholarships, sometimes they're posting the scholarships, on in LinkedIn, and they go super specific. Like if you're Hispanic, they're gonna be like the Hispanic scholarships. Or organizations. I know that several organizations like Haku scholarships, they post all of the openings that they have as well. They do internships, so it's very good to like have in mind those companies that you want to work for or the scholarships that you want to receive, and look for them on LinkedIn. It's a wonderful resource that years ago we didn't have. So having this resource and knowing that it's growing so much, and we can take advantage of this resource by for free, it's wonderful. So honestly, I encourage everyone to have your LinkedIn, look for the companies that you're interested, um, as well. Connect with other people. If you want to go to grad school, law school, medical school, you have the opportunity to connect to other students and ask them like, which scholarships are you using? How do you manage to pass your LSAT, or what was your LSAT score? So it's a good, um, it's good for connections. Do you guys have any questions?
Let's give a few minutes for you if you want to type any questions. Well, in the meanwhile, talk about the QR codes. So if you know LinkedIn has QR codes, use the app. So on the top, when you go to home. By the way, it's one of my friends who graduated and I posted on LinkedIn, and everyone congratulates her. So after that, you go to the search and you will see the small QR code here. So when you scan it, and I'm sorry here, you can scan ours and we can connect with you, or you can put in my code and you use it like this. So whenever you run out or you find career fair run out of resumes, take this, scan it with them, you connect with them. Much professional. Okay, let me see the chat real quick. Oh, thank you, Malia. I love that. And also, Sarah, thank you very much. Let me see. So what is the best way to look specifically for the scholarships? You want to answer that, Marcela?
Yes. So what I do, like for example, I always try to go to the Hispanic scholarships. I know that Haku it's offering scholarships as well. If you want to send me an email, I can send you like the links that I often go through. And but let me more. So right now, what I do is like I go to LinkedIn and I type scholarship on the menu on the top. Let me open it so I can do it with you. I go into the top in here where it says like search, and I type scholarship, and like I go like scholarships, Hispanic or Latino scholarships or women scholarships. I go as well with my major, like political science scholarships, something that I can, like, I know that I'm a good candidate because they you can pop up like several scholarships for STEM majors, but if I'm not in that field, it's not even convenient for me to look at them or apply to them. I can send it to my friends that are in that field, but for me, it's not convenient. So I go more in specific. Let me see. Oh, LinkedIn people too, and that's what I do. Did I answer your question? Specific companies as well, like organizations, several organizations like Tacotote as well, like businesses, Tacotote, the United Nations, they offer scholarships and fellowships. So go and look at the companies that you're interested, and you could see all the resources that they're sharing for students.
Okay, and then we have another question. It says, how do we know our profiles look good? Are there resources to help us to set up? So in my experience, what I look is into my, whoever I follow, like for example, Instagram. Oh, actually, you can follow the actual founder of LinkedIn. If you look for his profile, you will look him, all the things he put. Another person I follow, I think it's The Rock, and also I look into his profile and kind of like find tips like, oh yeah, he put this certificate and I didn't put it and I did it as well. So that's how I kind of compare with other professionals that are in my field, so I can use their whatever they're feeling, I want to feel it too. I don't know if that answered the question.
I think as well, like another thing that I look for to see if it's a good profile, like I look at the sections. Like it's good sometimes that you feel your education. That's kind of like a must. You must like put your education, but as well like all your certificates. I sometimes put like the scholarships that I have received, or the languages that I speak, or the skills that I am good at. And I think there's even like people that can congratulate you for having those skills that not a lot of people have. So that's how I will know if it's like a good LinkedIn profile, like having the sections on your profile.